As I walked out of the movie theater after seeing JOJO Rabbit last night, I asked myself, man, how the hell am I going to review this? Because I had no idea how I felt about it. And now, having sat on it for 24 hours, I still don't. JOJO Rabbit tells the story of a young boy in Nazi Germany who wants to fight for the Nazis in the war and has been essentially brainwashed into thinking that the Nazis are the greatest thing ever and that the Jewish people are the devil. But when he finds a young Jewish girl hiding in his house, she causes him to reconsider the things he's been led to believe his whole life and wonder that maybe the Nazis are not the heroes he thought they were. Also, it's a comedy. Well, sort of. The studio is definitely advertising it as a comedy, and it's probably closer to a comedy than not, but frankly, I have no idea how you'd market this thing accurately. The best way I can describe it is that it kind of feels a little bit like a Wes Anderson movie. It has humorous elements in it, but it's also trying to be something else. It's funny, but not ha-ha funny. The humor feels like it's there not to make you laugh so much as to offset or provide a relief from certain events that I won't spoil. And that's effective until it isn't. You will probably get some laughs out of it, but toward the end of the film, something happens, after which you really don't feel like laughing anymore. At least I didn't, because it's really not a funny situation. So when the movie still tries to make with the funny at that point, you might still laugh, but you may end up feeling guilty about it. This is such a hard movie to classify, in that it looks at a really serious setting and time period through a satirical comedic lens. It also seems very much geared toward a leftist type of audience, in that it's about Nazis, and it doesn't shy away from all the horrible things they did, but it also makes them look like complete clowns. Though it does try to be sophisticated enough about the whole thing to interest people outside of that leftist group. That's an insanely tricky balancing act, and kudos to Taika Waititi, who wrote, directed, and plays Adolf Hitler in the movie. I think he pulled it off. You'll have no doubts about where he falls on the political spectrum after seeing this, because it's basically Nazis Are Bad, the motion picture, but Waititi set out to make a genuine satire here, rather than something laden with leftist ideologies, and he succeeded in that. The issues I had with it were not with the satire, I thought that was done very well, but with the comedy and the pacing. Personally, the comedy just didn't do it for me. And this might be a personal preference thing because I was the only one in the theater not laughing. And in fact, throughout the movie, I kept asking myself, these jokes are funny, why am I not laughing? And I don't really have an answer. I think from my perspective, the jokes just didn't land because of the serious nature of the things happening around them. And I expect I'll be in the minority on this, but I found the movie to be more bittersweet than funny. Parts of it are actually quite sad, and they sure don't tell you that in the advertising. And then there's the pacing. Specifically in the second act, the story slows down for a while, and that means that it's really up to the actors to carry things until the pacing ramps up again. The thing is, though, this little boy, JoJo, is at the center of the film. He's in almost every scene. That's a lot to put on a child actor. And the casting was on point because the kid is very good in the movie, and they surrounded him with a great supporting cast to help carry the load. Scarlett Johansson, Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, they're all great here. But as good as the cast is, it just doesn't feel propulsive enough, or they didn't have the right material to get the movie from A to B until a certain event happens that gives the story an extra push. And this event does help with the pacing, but it's also the point where, for me, the movie ceases to be a comedy. And even though it does still try to make you laugh afterward, and even though the jokes would probably be funny in isolation, in context, I was like, sorry guys, I just can't. And then when the ending comes, it's happy, it's sad, it's emotional, it's a lot of different things, but it's not funny. And in a movie we were told was a comedy, and which does try to be a comedy a lot of the time, that feels jarring. And it is well done, don't get it twisted, but I couldn't help really wishing that the movie had been advertised a little differently to give me a better idea of what I was in for. JOJO Rabbit has a few issues with pacing and a tonal balancing act that starts off veering in a comedic direction, but then veers away from it, resulting in a movie that is really difficult to classify and is not exactly the movie the trailers and the commercials made it out to be. And at the end of the day, it is a good movie, but it's trying to be two different things. And I think it would have been an even better movie if it had just picked one or the other. Guys, let me know what you thought of JOJO Rabbit in the comments section. Ding that bell icon and follow me on Twitter using the link in the description so you'll always know when new videos get uploaded. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because as much as the YouTube algorithm needs to be taken down like the Nazis were in the war, unfortunately, it just won't go away. Do all the things, stay tuned, and I'll be back soon with more videos. Over. Out.